What's up, everybody? Heroes 13 here, back with another video, and this is my Thunderbolts movie review. Okay, couple little housekeeping rules. As you guys know, I don't know if I told you guys or not, I fractured my foot a while back, so I'm laid up in the bed. So if you hear some like rustling stuff, it's just me moving around. That's also why this movie review is coming out late. I initially was going to see this opening night, May 2nd, but I hurt my foot. I couldn't walk around. I was in splints and all that, so. I had to wait, but I just couldn't wait anymore. Yesterday, I went to the movie theater, saw it in IMAX, and man, was this movie good. This was a good movie. If you got a short attention span, I understand. I do at times too. This movie was really great. A lot of emotion, great characters, good action, awesome fight sequences. So 10 out of 10. Do I recommend you go watch it right now if you can? Absolutely. Do you need to make a point of seeing this at some point in the future? Yes, you do. But another thing, you're gonna see a lot of pictures of Century. Sorry, guys, had some family issues to business to take care of, but I'm back now. I'm gonna have a lot of pictures of Century because I'm gonna be real. He was literally the only reason I went to see this movie. No one else. Now, this cast is very good. These are all returning characters from Marvel. Sebastian Stan, Winter Soldier, Florence Pugh, Yelena Belova. The girl from Ghost from Ant-Man and the Wasp, John Walker, the character. I'm sorry, I don't know all the actors and actresses' names. Forgive me, guys. Julia Louis-Dreyfus as Valentina, Dee Fontaine as the movie emphasizes. But yeah, this movie was really great. Every person was great in their role. So it was stated. So the movie basically starts with Valentina. Valentina is the director or the sitting board member of the CIA. She is about to be fired or impeached because the members of Congress believe she is up to something, which she is. But Valentina is going through and she is getting rid of all the evidence against her. She's using her field operatives, Yelena Belova, Florence Pugh, Ghost, John Walker. She's having them do all these missions, destroying all the links to her and her company. But the last bit of intelligence is in a lab that she can destroy with a button. But she also needs to get rid of all of her field operatives. So she sends them all there to basically kill one another. Now, it was stated early on that Ghost was not really seen much in the trailers and all that. So people thought she died here. And me as well, but I thought she would be killed during the escape. She's actually killed like during the battle with Ghost. All the operatives come in, they have a fight, and at one point Ghost manages to kill Taskmaster. So the movie starts with Yelena Belova on top of a skyscraper, skydiving, talking about how she feels empty, but then she goes, maybe I'm just bored. But in reality, that's actually how, she actually does feel empty and unfulfilled in life, and she feels alone, as we'll find out later on. But that's, I just wanted to get that out of the way. But yeah, so Ghost kills Taskmaster, but then they all realize that they were all sent to be, Valentina's trying to get them all killed. Well, Yelena Belova finds that out. John Walker's kind of like, no, I'm a good guy. I'm a hero. He still hasn't accepted the fact that he's, doing criminal, organization and all that. But during their fight, Bob is actually released. Now, Valentina is attempting to create Project Century. She's trying to make a new hero because the Avengers aren't coming back. Right. She initially believes that the program is a failure. So Bob, she doesn't know that there was a success. Actually, when Florence Pugh, in the opening scene, she goes to destroy a lab, she's actually destroying the evidence of the Century serum that was used for Bob. But there were no survivors except for Bob. But Valentina doesn't know this at the time. Once she finds out, of course, she orders that the lab, that Century not be killed and all that, yada, yada, yada. Ghost, John Walker, Yelena Belova, Yelena and Century all escape the lab. And they work together to escape the lab. When the strike force comes, they're trying to kill the guys because they, like I said, they don't know that Sentry's there. Valentina doesn't know till pretty much later on. During the escape, Sentry's powers are starting to manifest when he comes out. Like he does some mental stuff once he touches some of them. When they're dodging explosives and all that. But we really start to see Sentry when they're escaping via a truck, and Sentry jumps out and he gets he causes a distraction, allowing them all to go away. And Sentry, he gets all the guards on him. They shoot him. The bullet. It seems like he gets shots, but he falls down, but he gets up. They get ready to shoot again, but he shoots off into the air and unable to control his powers. Whenever he's angry or afraid or just frustrated, his power starts to flare up. Sentry flies into the air. At this point, Valentina has got there and she's seen Sentry firsthand. He flies into the air and he's like, whoa. And then while he's in the air, he passes out, falls back to the ground, causing a massive makes a massive crater, causes a massive shockwave, knocking all the cars over. Yelena, Ghost, and John Walker all escape. Yelena, when she first went to the lab, her mission was to kill Ghost. Like I said, the operatives were sent to kill one another, but each operative had a target. John Walker was there to kill Yelena. Yelena was there to kill Ghost. Taskmaster was there to kill John Walker. Ghost was there to kill Taskmaster. Ironically, she's the only one who actually got her kill. Which was sad. It would have been cool to see if Ghost would have stuck around. If Taskmaster would have stuck around, sorry. But anyway. All right, so once Yelena, John Walker, and them are leaving, Red Guardian actually shows up because he operates a limo service. He was actually driving Valentina when he overheard the plot, so he went to go save Yelena. He picks up Ghost, John Walker, and Yelena. Once Valentina realizes that... And at this point, when Sentry falls, he goes unconscious. Because like I said, he can't control his powers at this point. Once Sentry gets knocked out, Sentry... And I really should preface this, but the movie's been out for a while. This is all spoilers. I'm gonna just try to put that in the description, in the title. Hopefully I'm not too lazy. But anyway, yes. So Valentina takes Sentry back because he can't control his powers. He's knocked out after the big explosion, but he's not dead. Anyway, so she sends another strike force to kill them, like a military convoy, like military jeeps. They're getting attacked. Bucky shows up. Now, Bucky was actually there during not the opening scene, but the second scene when Valentina was at the impeachment trial. Bucky realizes that Valentina has this assistant who's kind of like, I really want to be good. I don't want to do evil stuff, yada, all that. She basically gets him to track her phone to go where Yelena and them is. Bucky shows up. As they're being shot at in the limo, Bucky takes out the convoy, and then Bucky captures them. Now, Bucky doesn't know about Bob at this point. Bucky is capturing these guys simply to use them as evidence against Valentina in the impeachment trial. But then Bucky learns from the assistant about Sentry and about Bob. And I mentioned this earlier, but I didn't go into detail. Yelena took evidence about Project Sentry and Sentry from the lab when she went there, because she was initially told by Valentina that there is an operative who's trying to steal evidence, so get the evidence and then kill the operative. Her mission was never really to get the evidence because she was going to be killed and then the lab's going to be incinerated, but whatever. So, yes, we then go to... Now that Bucky knows about Sentry, he realizes that Valentina is trying to take over the world and trying to use her, make the world move her way. He teams up with them, Red Guardian, John Walker, Ghost, and Yelena, and they all go to confront Valentina. We're gonna skip the thing. They go to the tower. It's the old Avengers Tower, but it's renamed the Watchtower. They fight their way up, and when they confront Valentina, Bucky's getting ready to take her in, but then Sentry appears. He appears as Sentry in the flesh. And before this, when Sentry woke up after being taken into custody by Valentina basically convinces him to become Sentry. We see a brief brief little moment of Sentry training and actually using his powers and all of that, yada, yada, yada. Let's skip ahead to when back to when they were trying to take in Valentina. Sentry uses his telekinetic prowess to stop Bucky, and then he appears. All of the Thunderbolts are like, whoa, he looks different. Sentry's like, yeah, yada. So basically, the Thunderbolts realize they have to fight Sentry, and they all go and they do their best, and they get absolutely dog walked. they stood no they they stand absolutely no shot against Sentry. Sentry defeats them relatively easily. Right. There's nothing like they're shooting him. He's catching bullets with his telekinetic powers. He's super speeding out of the way. He's tanking attacks from super soldiers. And I know this isn't like super important. I'm gonna make a video later on dictating just how powerful Sentry really is. But several times it stated that Valentina states that Sentry has more power than all of the Avengers combined, a whole team of Avengers combined. So the Thunderbolts get absolutely beat, and they have to escape. Valentina tells Sentry her plan was to use Sentry to beat them, then turn them over to the authorities to show how that look. I beat all the rogues, so she was gonna like throw them all under the bus. As they're escaping, Valentina says go after them, and Sentry says no, they're not a threat to me. And then him and Valentina go like are starting to bicker. Valentina's like, Sentry, you have to listen to me. And Sentry goes, I think this should be like cooperative. Like, why would a god take orders from anyone? And Valentina's like, who said you're a god? Even though it's, Valentina, when she was talking to the Thunderbolt, said that Sentry was all powerful and could do anything. And Sentry said, and Sentry tells her, you said I was more powerful than a whole team of Avengers, which includes at least one god, Thor, of course. So Valentina has a kill switch. She installed a kill switch on Sentry. She's getting ready to use it, but Sentry super speed blitzes and captures her, and he's getting ready to choke her out. Then her assistant shows up, presses the button, and Sentry falls. And Valentina believes Sentry's dead. So she goes, she gets the crew to come in to try to get the dead body. She's heading down to talk to the press and all that. But when she leaves, Sentry turns into the Void. When Sentry becomes the Void, he flies out. And then he begins to use his powers to put the entire state of New York into like their own worst fears. Now, let's go back to when they were all escaping the lab. When Sentry would touch somebody, he would go inside their mind and see their like one of their worst memories. He does this only to Elena and John Walker during the lab escape. But as the Void, he puts the entire state of New York in their little mental in this mental world where they're reliving their worst fears and all that. And all the bad memories from their lives. So Sentry then, once Sentry beats them, they get down to the street, and Red Guardian, he's with the whole team thing, superheroes. Let's be adored like gods. Let's embrace this. He tries to tell them we have to regroup and figure out how we're going to defeat Sentry. Yelena's like, no, he's too powerful. We can't beat him. We all suck. Yelena goes on this like crazy thing where she burns everybody. She talks about how John Walker's it's revealed that John Walker's wife left him, took the kid. She calls basically, I forget what she said about Ghost, but I think she said Ghost is a reject, she went crazy and she burned everybody, even Alexi, and she walks off and she basically says they all suck. So this is the whole breakup team thing. They all go their separate ways. But when Void, and we see Void goes out into the this is when we see Sentry fully become Void and he opens his eyes. So we then go to Yelena and Red Guardian. I'm sorry, I don't know his name. It was his name. It's Russian. Yelena and Red Guardian, they're talking. Yelena basically, this is when she basically tells Red Guardian, you're not my dad and all that. My sister died and you disappeared for a year. You're not my dad. And then Red Guardian goes, I didn't think you wanted to see me. She goes, yes, of course I wanted to see you. Then she basically mentions that she's alone. She goes to work. She goes to an empty house. She has nobody. She drinks, and then she just goes to work the next day. She's empty. And that's when, honestly, I ain't gonna lie, I teared up at this because it was sad. Like, Florence Pugh is a really great actress. She nailed this scene. And Red Guardian, and he basically tells her, and we hear a story earlier on in the movie when she talks about like what the name from the Thunderbolts came from Yelena's old soccer team when they were like undercover. She had a soccer team. They were called the Thunderbolts. They never won a single game, but Yelena was the goalie. And Red Guardian brought up, he goes, do you remember why you said you wanted to be goalie? And Yelena said, because I didn't want to run as much as everybody else. And he's like, well, yeah, that, but also you wanted to be the person that everyone could rely on if they made a mistake. And this is when she starts to come around and all that. And Then we see the citizens of New York actually looking up at the sky. Yelena and Red Guardian then look up and you see Void in the air. The Valentina looks, she gets to the ground, she sees Void, she orders this kill squad to take him out. Well, no, actually, as they're walking, the assistant says that the cleanup crew can't find the body. She goes, "What?" She looks into the air, and then they see Sentry and in this Void form. She orders the kill squad to take him out. They're shooting. The bullets are doing literally nothing to him. It doesn't even seem like they're actually hitting him. So then Sentry Void uses his Void power, puts everyone in the like dark mental world. All the thunder, he causes chaos. Buildings and like stuff are collapsing, explosions. Each Thunderbolt saves one team member. They all come together. They can't beat him physically, so Yelena heads into the mental world to save Bob. Eventually, all the other Thunderbolts come after him. They find Bob. They help Bob get through his trauma world. Bob then goes and he confronts the Void, but as he's fighting, the Void's starting to take over. So all the Thunderbolts they get restrained by Void earlier on before he and Bob fight. They break out. They break out of like the restraints as Bob's fighting Void, and they go to hold Bob and they help him. Basically, they heal Bob by telling him he's not alone anymore, thus allowing him to defeat the Void. So it's a mental battle. It's not like a punchy destroy the city type thing. So yeah, this movie was great, man. Yeah, this movie was great. It had everything, and the way they beat the final boss was actually pretty interesting. It wasn't like a physical battle per se, but more like a mental thing. And of course, the Congress people get there. The Thunderbolts were getting ready to capture Valentina, but she kind of like the Congress people, like the news crew arrive, and Valentina kind of like tricks the Thunderbolts, and she basically names them the New Avengers, and they all kind of go along with it. Bob returns. Sentry doesn't die, but he's lost his memory, which is really funny because in the comics, he wipes the memory of everyone in New York before he goes away, but this is kind of like a little spin they're putting on it. So, yeah, there's some end credit scenes, but I stayed for one. It was the Wheaties box, but the other was when the Fantastic Four arrived. I missed that when, I had to, I'm on crutches, so I had to, get out to the car and all that. But yeah, all in all, this was a great movie. Tons of emotion. I don't know how much more to say. I don't know why I went through the whole story and recapped it, but yeah. Thunderbolts, 10 out of 10. Honestly, this was all. I've liked most of I like most of Marvel's movies. I don't really think there's like a bad one, but this one is definitely. I'm glad it's getting all the praise. It deserves it. Really wish Taskmaster would have lived, but oh well. All right, see you guys.